Namaste. Namaste again. Welcome to the Advaita channel of the Sangha of Being. I'm Atma, and you are all very welcome to listen to these readings from the Sangha of Being group under the guidance of our beloved Father Anantaji. So I will read from the Song of the Avadhut. I will start soon. Murji ki jai, Anantaji ki jai. Just let me check because it's the first time. Okay. I don't have a book, but here on internet I have this from where I will read. And let me just, because it's my first time to broadcast in live on YouTube channel, and just I'm experimenting on this. Okay, let me find. Okay, as I said, I will read from the Song of the Avadhut. And before I start, I would like just to read the small introduction, just small from introduction. Those who have never heard about Avadhut Gita, just to introduce this marvelous work of self-realized being, because these words are coming directly from the space of the self, so are very powerful. The Avadhut Gita is a call to knowledge, the supreme knowledge of ultimate truth. The Avadhut holds out no compromise with illusion. He offers no foothold on separation. He allows no semblance of reality at all to creep into our perception of reality. Perhaps his knowledge is for mere men too sublime, too simplistic, but it is the knowledge of the ultimate truth of existence, and it is this very truth which has the power to make us free. Yes. Just these words are resonating deeply inside here. To be sure, just let me check if, I don't know if everything is functioning correctly. To me, it seems that it is. Still don't know how it's on YouTube because I've never had this experience. So I hope all is well. So still from introduction. To be sure, few men are capable of reaching such heights of knowledge, and few still are capable of sustained endurance in the rarefied atmosphere at such altitudes of awareness. For this reason, a guide such as the Avadhut is most necessary and comforting to us. He leads us confidently upward over the rugged terrain of thought and into the remote realms of unconditioned awareness. As we follow him into the dizzying heights of united knowledge, we are privileged to share in some measure his exalted state. Yes. Reading only a few verses of the Avadhut song, our minds are immediately lifted to a realm of immeasurable calm and certainty. Certainty of few more verses, and we have become immovable, invincible, secure once more in the recalled knowledge of our own eternal self, which somehow we had forgotten. Thus, simply by reading the words of this master guide, we are lifted into the freedom and exaltation of this pure awareness and made capable of tasting a little of the sweet nectar of our own intrinsic bliss. It's already so beautiful. So I'm very happy that I'm reading this here on Advaita channel so that everybody who wants to listen to it or just to be in the presence of these not only words but this energy of realized being are able to be easily, they can easily through these readings access to this presence and awareness. So I'm very happy and very grateful for this gift of reading this marvelous song. Okay, let me check again. So I'm now here. Just would like to read what's Swami Abhayananda. No, it's not that I wanted, sorry. This I wanted from Sri Shankaracharya before I start, before this adventure of beauty of the song of the Avadhut starts, because I also am immersed while I'm reading it. I forgot myself and I am immersed in the energy of this divine song. So Sri Shankaracharya says, the fool thinks, I am the body. The intelligent man thinks, I am an individual soul united with the body. But the wise man, in the greatness of his knowledge and spiritual discrimination, sees the self as the only reality and thinks, I'm Brahman. So beautiful. From time to time, for sure, I would say or repeat again, beautiful, because as I said, I'm also listening to these words together with you. So, oh, just to see, yes. Namaste, Shivani. Can you please confirm if the audio and video is okay?
Yeah, it sounds good. Sounds good for
Sounds good. Okay, I can go on. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. The Song of the Avadhut. Chapter 1. Truly, it is by the grace of God that the knowledge of unity arises within. Then a man is released at last from the great fear of life and death. All that exists in this world of forms, just a moment, I want to, sorry. All that exists in this world of forms is nothing but a self, and a self alone. How then shall the infinite worship itself? Shiva is one, undivided whole. I will read it in this way. If I feel like just staying after reading one verse, to stay in silence, maybe for just some seconds, I will do it, because it just the energy of these words somehow brings my energy inside, and maybe I will need to, from time to time, close my eyes. The 5 subtle elements. Just wanted to say, Shivani, if you want to ask anything, or you want just to stay also in silence to contemplate some words more, you can ask me and we can do that. The 5 subtle elements that combine to compose the world are as illusory as the water in the desert mirage. To whom then shall I bow my head? I myself am the stainless one. Truly, all this universe is only myself. It is neither divided nor undivided. How can I even assert that it exists? I can only view it with wonder and awe. Actually, these are very, very powerful words. It's like I can feel the sweetness of the energy behind these words. What then is the heart of the highest truth, the core of knowledge, the wisdom supreme? It is, I'm the self, the formless one. By my very nature, I'm pervading all. With this verse and line, in this, everything what is needed is already said. That I'm the self, the formless one. That one God who shines within everything, who is formless like the cloudless sky, is the pure, stainless self of all. Without any doubt, that is who I am. I will repeat this. Actually, I feel like a little bit of headache while reading this. That one God who shines within everything, who is formless like the cloudless sky, is the pure, stainless self of all. Without any doubt, that is who I am. Let's see how it's in YouTube, because I don't know. I don't know if I have to pause to stop that YouTube video, or only I need to mute it. Maybe I have to stop it. It was stopped. I will stop it again. I hope I'm doing well or not. I don't know. Shivani, I will now that video on YouTube is not stopped, and I will continue reading, and you can tell me if you hear some strange sounds. So maybe I need to stop it, to pause it, but I will see. I'm the infinite and immutable one. I'm pure consciousness without any form. I don't know how or to whom joy and sorrow appear in this world. mind has nothing to add to these words or to ask, because these are so powerful words that they have the power to stop the mind, the thoughts flow, coming and going, and one can only stay in this presence and purity. So while reading it, I have no doubt that there is no doubt, because there is no mind working and asking if it's true or not. It's just like it is what is. What is said here, that is truth. These words are so simply said, but they're so powerful. They're pregnant with truth. I have no mental karma, either good or bad. I have no physical karma, either good or bad. I have no verbal karma, either good or bad. I'm beyond the senses. I'm the pure nectar of the knowledge of the self. So what to say? Nothing. I'm nothing, nothing, nothing. Whatever I see, perceive, feel, imagine, think, it's everything only happening inside of me. And I'm, of course, nothing of that. The mind is formless like the sky, yet it wears a million faces. It appears as images from the past or as worldly forms, but it is not the Supreme Self. It is so simply and clearly here explained about the mind, that the mind is also formless like the sky, because actually does not exist always. It's not visible. It's just an empty space. But he says, yet it wears a million faces. It can change, take any form of image or thought or feeling even. So it appears as image from the past or as worldly forms, but it is not the Supreme Self. So clearly explained what is mind and what is self. Actually, it's not explained what is self, because self cannot be explained. It's nothing, nothing. When nothing remains, that is the self. I am one, I am all of this, yet I am undifferentiated beyond all forms. How then do I regard the self? As both unmanifest and a manifest world. This is really this is really, here he says, I means we all are this. We are both this manifest and even unmanifest world. So there is nothing which is not me. Everything is me, myself. And yet I'm nothing of that. Whatever exists and even does not exist, it's all me, inside of me. And I'm empty. I'm very grateful for these words. Just a moment. It's a little bit hot here. I hope that, there is not so much noise from outside, because it's hot today. You also are the one. Why don't you understand? You are the unchanging self, the same within everyone. You are truly illimitable. You are the all-pervading light. For you, how can there be any distinction between the day and the night? This seems like a mystery. This line for you, how can there be any distinction between the day and the light? Yes, there is no distinction between day and light. I mean, in the sense that both of them are happening inside of me. Just they look so different actually, and the energy of the day and night is different. Therefore, it seems to be two different states because the whole environment and the energy is different. Just seems to be different. But he said, you are truly illimitable. You are the all-pervading light. Understand that the self is continuous being, the one within all, without any division. The I is both the subject and the supreme object of meditation. How can you see two in that which is one? There is nothing to be added to these words. Neither birth nor death pertain to you. You have never been a body. It is well known that all is Brahman. Scriptures have stated this in various ways. You are that which is both inside and out. You are Shiva. You are everything everywhere. Why then are you so deluded? Why do you run about like a frightened ghost? When I read these words, because it's happening in this moment now, and there is only now, I cannot actually. While reading, I see that there's something inside. Try to connect to something else, like just immediately checking if I can, if I'm really deluded and if I'm really frightened. But I cannot find that now here, while in the presence of these words. And what I see is that it's always that, like that, just it's always only now and here. And just like that. Actually, I have nothing, not even to comment these words. They cannot be comment. Maybe to somebody who has never came in touch with the words of masters or the masterpiece, the divine song like this one. Maybe to those beings. There is no such a thing as union or separation for me or for you. There is no me, no you, no manifold world. All is the self and the self alone. It's so obvious, actually. It's so obvious. There is no duality, not non-duality. It's beyond duality and non-duality. It just is. can't be explained in words actually. Also, these words are just pointings because the truth cannot be said in words, but can be indicated. And these are wonderful words. They really come very close to the truth. They are speaking from the truth. I say, come very close because when uttered, one has just to stay with them, to let them sink to his heart and to absorb them. Then the words somehow reveal the truth. That is how I feel that. Shivani says she has lost connection. Now she's again here. Okay, Shivani, if you can tell me, because it's my first experience with YouTube broadcasting, I don't know if I have to stop, like pause the YouTube video, or only mute it because it's muted, or I can let it be like it is. I don't know if do you hear some other strange sounds now? Just if you can.
Yeah, I think you just mute.
Is it okay now?
Yeah,
I
can't hear anything in the background. That's good.
Okay, is it better? Just a moment. I will just mute it. It's muted. It's muted actually. But do you think I have to pause the video just to stop, or only to mute it?
No, just mute. Yeah. Just mute.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're helping me a lot because that's only with the experience you can know how it is.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to ask anything, please feel free to ask.
Okay. I like listening.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Let me see now. You are that which is both inside and out. You are Shiva. You are everything, everywhere. No, I've already. Okay. Why then are you deluded? Why do you run about like a frightened lost? There is no such a thing as a union or separation for me or for you. But I have already. Okay. You can't be heard or smelled. He's actually speaking to us, to what we really are. So, if these words are heard with an open heart, without mind, they have a power to instantly reveal the truth inside of our heart. So he says, you can't be heard or smelled or tasted. You can't be seen or sensed by touch. Truly, you are the ultimate reality. Why then should you be troubled so? Neither birth nor death, nor the active mind, nor bondage nor liberation affects you at all. Why then, my dear, do you grieve in this way? You and I have no name or form. What I felt while reading this, it's just I feel the energy here. I feel like it's not that I don't trust or believe that I am the ultimate truth, but maybe some expectations about how it has to be, without attributes, without anything, are maybe still here, and I will check later also that why, because it's when mind is totally clear and silent. There is no doubt at all. Not even, it's even beyond doubt. There is nothing, and I live these states also. When some energies coming from inside, they're actually all happening inside the same empty space. So I don't know. Maybe some expectations will be burnt here very soon. I feel like that while reading this. Oh mind, why are you so deluded? Why do you run? Sorry, really, I don't know why always this verse is coming first. Okay. Truly, you are the unchanging essence of everything. You are the moving unity. You are boundless freedom. You have neither attachment nor aversion. Why then do you worry and succumb to desire? Yes, why? All the scriptures anonymously declare that the pure, formless, undifferentiated reality is the essence of all forms. There is absolutely no doubt about this. All forms, understand, are only temporary manifestation. Only the formless essence eternally exists. Yes, I know that. I know that. Once this truth is realized, there is no more necessity to be reborn. Yes. Yes. The only desire which has remained is for freedom, not to be born again. But even this is sin, and it's okay. Divine reality is ever the same. This is what all the wise men say. Whether you embrace or renounce desires, the one consciousness remains unaffected. It is said here. Actually, I have nothing to say. If you see the world as other than the self, can it be the experience of unity? If you see it as the self, can that be the experience of unity? If it's seen as both the self and not the self, can that be the experience of unity? The true state of freedom is to see everything as one. You are the pure reality, always the same. You have no body, no birth, and no death. How then can you say, I know the self? Or how can you say, I don't know the self? Okay. The saying that thou art affirms the reality of your own true self. The saying, not this, denies the reality of the 5 composite elements. The self is the identity of everyone. The self is the identity of everyone. So beautifully said. You are everything, the unbroken whole. The thinker and the thought do not even exist. Oh mind, how can you go on thinking so shamelessly? It's so beautifully said. I do not know Shiva, How can I speak of him? I do not know Shiva. How can I worship him? I myself am Shiva, the primal essence of all. My nature, like the sky, remains ever the same. So beautiful. I am the essence, the all-pervading essence. I have no form of my own. I am beyond the vision of subject and object. How could I possibly be an object to myself? How could I possibly be an object to myself? These words are actually pure beauty, pure nectar, pure sweet nectar. And my being is recognizing it. There is no such a thing as an infinite form. The infinite reality has no form of its own. The one self, the supreme reality, neither creates nor sustains nor destroys anything. It's like nothing ever happens. Nothing ever happens. Everything just is. I'm just looking at YouTube to see if anybody's there, and I just asked if the sound is good. Okay. I hope you can hear me. Namaste, Adam and Nikhil. Hope you can hear me. So I go on. You are that pure and unchanging essence. You have no body, no birth, and no death. For you, how could such a thing as delusion be? How could delusion exist for the self? Actually, I'm feeling now feeling very light. Very light. Thank you. Thank you. When a jar is broken, the space that was inside merges into the space outside. In the same way, my mind has merged in God. To me, there appears no duality. This is really very beautiful. It says, jar here can be like just like the empty, how to say, the one shell, like a shell of ego. It has this limits, and the jar is the ego, the limits of ego. And when a jar is broken, I feel it like this. When a jar is broken, the space that was inside merges into the space outside. In the same way, my mind has merged in God. To me, there appears no duality. Yes, it seems like mind is the basic. The basis of the ego to exist. It exists. Mind and ego exist together. They give energy one to other, and it's like one thing. And when this one thing, this shell of ego and mind is broken, that what was inside merges with that outside, and there is no more duality. Everything becomes one. Everything becomes one, and that mind merges with God, and that's the beautiful state. Okay, thank you, beloveds. I see you said sound fine. Thank you. If you want to ask something, anything, we can just speak, or we can stay in silence. If you want to stay in silence, or you want me to repeat some verses, please tell me. We can do that together. Truly, there is no jar, no space within. Yes, it's only seem to be. There is no jar, no space within. There is no body and no soul in chest. Please understand, everything is Brahman. There is no subject, no object, no separate parts. It only, everything seems to be, this ego and mind seems to be separate from us, but actually are emerging from inside of us. Somehow we have an illusion that it's something which is separate from us, from real us, from the self, and that it has its, how to say, its separate existence, and therefore feels so frightened for its own existence, because it's not real. It's not real. Even the ego is the part of the self. That is how I feel that. Everywhere, always, and in everything, know this. The self alone exists. Everything, both the void and the manifested world, is nothing but a self of this I am creation. It is said here actually what Ananta is always saying, what Muji is saying, what Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj is saying, that I will repeat this verse because it is that is that. Everywhere, always, and in everything. Know this, the self alone exists. There is only the self. Everything, both the void and the manifested world, is nothing but the self of this I am creation. It's all created by us, by consciousness, all created by us. So we can enjoy it instead of suffering. We can enjoy it. There are no divine scriptures, no world, no imperative religious practices. There are no gods, no classes or races of man, no stages of life, no superior or inferior. There is nothing but Brahman, the supreme reality. This is it. Everything is said here. Nothing to add, nothing to say even. just to be grateful. The subject and object are unseparated and inseparable. The subject and object. That undivided one is you. When this is so, when no other exists, how could the self be objectively perceived? Yeah, therefore we cannot perceive the self, because self is everything. Only self is. So it's not perceived phenomenally. It's not perceived like an object or anything like that, like an appearance, nothing. It cannot be perceived actually. It is that space from everything else is perceived. Sorry, I have to put this. Non-duality is taught by some. Some others teach duality. They don't understand that the all-pervading reality is beyond both duality and non-duality. There is no color. I want to say this, what I feel now, it's what it's said here, that when he says that that even non-duality exists, it's because when you don't feel anything like, if you never felt anything like separated from you, you have never felt duality. So there cannot be non-duality, because non-duality is the opposite of duality. But if there is nothing, not even non-duality, if the concept from the space of the real self inside the self, there is no not one concept, not even a concept of duality or non-duality, because also non-duality is a concept from that point of view. It is what he says here. There is no color or sound to the one reality. It has no qualities at all. How can one even think or speak of that, which is far beyond both mind and speech? When you know all this universe of forms to be as vacant as the sky, then you will know Brahman. Duality will forevermore cease to be. I would just like just maybe some seconds to stay in silence. The self is that from which even this being is being perceived. This being which has this body and this the breathing of the body, all is perceived in the self. And self is that ever pervading, if I can say, space, reality, from which even the being is being perceived. I don't know even what I'm saying. I mean, I hear, I understand, but how come they are coming out, these words? I don't know. But it is like that. To some, the self appears as other. To me, the self is I. Like undivided space, one alone exists. How then could the object of a meditation be two? Only in aloneness one can realize that unity and that all-pervading awareness, that he is that. Only in being alone, now I know that. And what I feel that is we are alone more than we can even imagine. It's beyond the concept of being alone. We are born alone, and we live as a being, and this being disappears in aloneness. But this aloneness and this being alone is ever pervading. Is not empty, and is not lonely. Just we are alone more than we can ever imagine. And there is no need to be afraid of this aloneness. I was once, but now by the grace of my beloved father Ananta, even if some fears arises, I know how to stay with them and let them come and go. But actually nothing really touches me, the self. And I'm so happy and grateful for this reading and sharing, which is happening right now, spontaneously. Nikhil says, yes, indeed, the ego is the part of the self. It is the ego who wants to take ownership of ego and get rid of ego. Yes, yes. Let's see if I'm still casting. Yes, okay. To some, the self appears as other. To me, okay, I have already read this one. Nothing of what I do or eat or give or take exists for me. I'm purity itself, beyond birth and death. This is so beautiful. This is beautiful. Nothing of what I do or eat or give or take exists for me. I'm purity itself, beyond birth and death. Know that the whole of the universe is without any form. Know that the whole of the universe is forever unchanging. Know that the whole of the universe is unseen by its content. Know that the whole of the universe is of the nature of God. Knowing this is really so beautiful. Knowing this, one can really live so easily, peacefully, and beautifully. From time to time, some old things may rise, but they're also seen in the presence of being and in the space of self. So know that the whole of the universe is of the nature of God. Knowing this, if you really know this inside your heart, you're free. You're free. You are the ultimate reality. Have no doubt. The self is not something known by the mind. The self is the very one who knows. How then could you think to know the self? So, you are the ultimate reality. Have no doubt. The self is not something known by the mind. The self is the very one who knows. How then could you think to know the self? And then he says, Maya, Maya, how could that be? A shadow, it does not exist. Reality is one, it's everything, it's all pervasive, nothing else exists. I have no beginning, middle, or end. Now it becomes like a pure song for me. I don't know, something here is very light now, and this immediately something recognized these verses as a pure song, just flowing. And it may be that I will maybe just for some minutes read in this way. I don't know. Let's see. I have no beginning, middle, or end. I have never been, nor will ever be, bound. My nature is stainless. I'm purity itself. This I know as a certainty. To me, neither the elemental particles nor the entire universe exists. Brahman alone is everything. Where then are the castes or the stages of life? I always recognize everything as the one indivisible reality. Imagine, beloveds, how beautiful and easy to live it this way. Like he says, I always recognize everything as the one indivisible reality, and that is our nature. Actually, we have just forgotten it. We have just. It's so obvious that we can somehow we miss to see it. Somehow we miss it because it's closer than. How can I say it's the closest thing. It's not even close. It is you, and that what is you which is so close and intimate, somehow is missed. And we see everything else and identified ourselves with everything else, but we miss ourselves, which is this one, which is so obvious. I always recognize everything as the one indivisible reality. That undivided one constitutes the world, the void, all space, and the 5 elements. It's neither neuter, nor masculine, nor feminine. It possesses neither intellect nor the power of thought. How then can you imagine that the self is either blissful or not blissful? Yes, it reminds me of this morning, of satsang of this morning, when Father says, one beloved said that after some days of feeling bliss and being in blissful state, that has also passed, and that he was watching it, and Anantaji said that that's good that it has passed, because it's not it is even bliss is the state. It is not our ultimate truth. Even bliss comes and goes, and it's good that it has gone, because now we can see that even bliss, this beautiful state, I also was in this state for many times. Even this state is only the state, comes and goes, but it's perceived by myself. The practice of yoga will not lead you to purity. Silencing the mind will not lead you to purity. The Guru's instructions will not lead you to purity. That purity is your essence. It's your very own consciousness. Here it is said that no practice, no sadhana, no instructions, no meditation can really brings you to that state. Because you are already that, your very essence is that. So in reality, nothing is needed. Even it can be an obstacle. This instructions or practice can be an obstacle to realize that you don't need them. Because how can that, what you are, find yourself through these practices? Impossible. But it's also good, because it's very simple, because it does not depend on anything. Realization of the self does not depend of if you do yoga or meditate, or you eat healthy food, or you do this sadhana or that sadhana, or you renounce this or that. It does not depend because you do this or this. Maybe you can come with all this, maybe you can purify something from inside, some energy, some can be unblocked, and but for the realization of the self, you cannot realize who you are through these techniques, because if so, then means that you are not already the self. But I'm the self already. I don't need anything. I don't know even from where these words are coming, but I know that they are truth. Neither the gross body consisting of the 5 elements, nor the subtle body exists. Everything is the self alone. How then could the 4th state or the other 3 states exist? I'm not bound, nor I'm liberated. I'm Brahman and nothing else. I'm not the doer, nor I'm the doer. I do not pervade anything, nor I'm pervaded. I think, beloveds, I will stop here. I will stop with reading. It's even 1 hour past, but I feel like such deep truth has been revealed through these words. So we can stop here and contemplate maybe later or now, to stay with the energy of of the Supreme Self, to let the energy enter and inside of our heart and do its job without without doing nothing from our side. So just let me see. Okay. I will finish here. I will finish with reading. Thank you so much for being here with me, for being for enjoying together this magnificent presence of the Self. I know that all these words are really actually cannot say it, but some words has to be, some words have to be said. But real truth and self or awareness, absolute, whatever, these are only words. It is felt from inside, seen, not by eyes, physical, but it's known only in silence. That is how it is. But all these scriptures and divine songs are helping us to connect, just to connect easily to the space and the presence and ultimately awareness that we are. So thank you so much for being here with me. I love you all so very much. Mujiji ki jai. Anantaji ki jai. Thank you. Love you.